It doesn't suck to be me here at the Avenue Q after party. Shoshana reporting for bwaySHO.com.
Gosh, every time a character came on stage, it was just like raucous applause. It was so nice. When I looked up, when Gary Coleman made an entrance, I looked up at Lakrita, and tears just started streaming down her eyes. And I was like, "Don't do this!" I was like, "Don't do this now. We have to make it through." It was so magical.
It was definitely emotional. It was very full circle for me. I was in Disaster. Hi guys. And a lot of Labora's songs got interrupted, or she didn't have a button. So when I came out as Gary Coleman and they clapped for what seemed like a good minute and 30 seconds, it was not that long. It was like a culmination of like all the applauses that I could have gotten for Disaster happening in this moment, me closing the show, and that's why I started crying. And it's supposed to be a joyful moment where you meet Gary Coleman for the first time, and of course he's like, "Oh, Gary Coleman!"
It's absolutely overwhelming. I got to experience a bit of that when we did the 15th anniversary celebration last year, and Rick and I swung in to do If You Were Gay, and as soon as we came out, they had to stop because there was just applause, and we just stood there, and it washed over us in waves, and I felt like I was on fire. Feeling that wave of love, you can't help but reflect it back, and so I felt like I was glowing. And that was very much what everyone was doing on stage tonight.
People are saying, well, we're celebrating the end of almost 16 years. Well, I've been working with Bobby and Jeff since before Avenue Q. So my association with Avenue Q goes back 21 years. So yeah, it's been like a third of my life. That's a significant investment of my lifetime in this show. But yeah, you know, all the emotions, you know, as they say. Sad to see it go, but as Bobby said, if the show didn't close now, you couldn't have a revival.
It's just incredible. It's really been the greatest blessing of my life. I mean, the adventures it's taken me on and the friendships I've made, and I got to see it in 7 languages, and you know, the experience of not knowing the language but knowing what they're saying and realizing it plays the same everywhere. My hometown community theater in Coos Bay, Oregon did a stellar production of it in January. I finally returned to the marquees of Coos Bay, Oregon.
It's very special to have been a part of this original Broadway cast. It was changed all of our lives completely. It was the most thrilling time, you know, when we won the Tony, and it was such a surprise, and it put all of our writers on the map, and look what they've given to the world since. And you know, it's just a very special thing to have been a part of Avenue Q. And so to see it tonight, I was very, very aware of the passage of time, and it was very emotional.
It has opened so many doors for me. It's been incredible, and watching the show tonight, getting to sit back and watch it, and as soon as the music started, just feeling that rush of, this is something so much bigger than any of us ever expected.
Today at the matinee, we had one of our super fans, Nadia, was at the stage door, and she's been to the show like 100 times, and she draws fan art for us, and she has a puppet, and she started crying and said, "I'm just gonna miss it so much," and that was it for me. I was like, the fact that this show has touched so many people, and it's meant so much to so many people over these years, is everything. That's the legacy of this show.
The Smithsonian had expressed interest in having some of the characters from Avenue Q join their collection a long time ago. We finally put the pieces together, and I'm so honored, and it's so thrilling to have my puppets go into the Smithsonian's permanent collection, you know, representing Avenue Q and its place in musical theater. I mean, it's kind of two things. It's, you know, the puppets as representing puppetry in American culture, and then they're also there representing Avenue Q in American theater. So it's a dream come true. I mean, literally, my work is in the storage cabinet next to Jim Henson's original Kermit the Frog. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I got to tell you, when I first found out that it was going to be a done deal and we were really going to make that happen, I just openly wept for like hours. To have my work in a museum next to the work of so many of my inspirations, you know, Jim Henson and Bill Baird, and Charlie McCarthy's in the Smithsonian. My puppets are right next to Charlie McCarthy. I mean, that's insane. I'm still trying to sort of wrap my head around that. And I'm alive. I'm not a dead old person whose work is being put in afterwards. I'm still here. So I'll get to see him in a case in the Smithsonian someday. And so will my daughter.
I can't even begin to describe what this journey has been. I realized that Avenue Q has been over a third of my lifetime, and 2/3 of my time here in New York City, living in New York. I can't imagine a time in my life that didn't have Avenue Q in it in some way, shape, or form. And I've gone on to coach different productions in regional theaters and universities. I actually directed a production of it. And occasionally they would let me swing back in to be a vacation swing or a medical cover. And I'm just so humbled and grateful about what this show has meant. What this show has meant to me, it's really, really hard to put into words.
To watch the show as it was essentially the same show all those years, to see how suddenly something would become very relevant. You know, with Scientology, I remember that the Scientology thing was always in there, but then Tom Cruise is there jumping the sofa, and everyone thought we added it just for the show. And you know, I mean, in a way, it's a period piece. They have CDs. No one's on their cell phone. But it's all right. It's all right. You know, I think any classic piece of theater belongs in its period. And God, I mean, 15 years. And the show tonight, the cast was stellar. They were wonderful. And, you know, I'm so grateful to all of the people that have tended to it over the years.
Lots of us still keep in touch and see each other pretty regularly, but it's lovely to sort of all be together again, you know, because that just doesn't happen very often, especially over a show that we spanned so many years. You know, we closed this on Broadway in '09. It's crazy that it's been 10 more years since then. And everybody at New World has done a fantastic job.
It's crazy because, you know, with any passing of time, there are milestones. There's other things you connect with, like, you know, the first time anything happened in the show, like the first time, like when I got married during working at Avenue Q. It's nuts. You know, the first time I went on, Natalie broke her foot during the show. And they're like, Carmen, get ready. Like, and we all share these memories, these milestones of this show, like I said, the little show that could. And, you know, it's what I think, what they always told us, the creators, is that this show was heart. Like, it's so funny and witty, and the songs are amazing, but unless you have the heart, that's what takes, you know, takes to that next level. Because you can easily just do it for giggles and humming the tune, but when you put the heart into it, like I said, that's why it's the little show that could. It's Tony Award winning, and it was still great tonight. Like, it never gets old. It never gets old.
We had other moments that were just electric, and the audience was fantastic, and we couldn't have asked for a better closing audience and for a better closing cast.
Waves of energy. It felt like a rock concert tonight. It was so amazing. It was like the Rocky Horror Picture version of Avenue Q. It felt so good. And to know that, I mean, everybody who's been in the show over the years was in the audience supporting us. It felt so good. It was like a family. It really was magical. Tonight was one for the books.
All of the fans who have loved and supported the show, you're the reason that we lasted this long. And I love how many neighbors have come and gone through Avenue Q over all these years. It's an incredible community of people, and it's so inspiring. And just love as well as you can and live as well as you can, because everything in life is only for now.